Another live Lord of the Rings painting. Let me just double check that the stream is up and working. There we go. And I got the chat open, so chat away. First, just want to give a quick shout out, happy Juneteenth, to all of our brothers and sisters who are still fighting for their true freedom. So you got my support. I love you all. Quick shout out. Black Lives Matter. Fucking A, man. Okay. Also, a little rest in peace to Ian Holm, who died today at 88 years old. Kind of appropriate for this Lord of the Rings piece I'm doing, since he played Bilbo Baggins. Very legendary role in that regard. Okay. So today I'm doing a Sam and Frodo piece. Just doing an underpainting today. Gonna start with a very purple underpainting on this one. Let's see. We can say maybe, yeah, really there's not a whole lot of gradient on this one. It's going to be an intense, more red in the foreground, and a little more subtle in the background. Let's go ahead and start with, shoot, my paint tube is. So today will be maybe a little bit of an outlining of the characters, but I'll probably do most of the actual rendering tomorrow. And of course my phone always tells me that I'm streaming, gives me a notification. Let's start with maybe some burnt umber, just as a nice coat on this thing. And maybe a little bit of yellow in the distance. Okay, I like that. I did not get a chance to really stare at this thing like I get to sometimes. Guatemala. Hi there, Teto. How's it going? Thanks for watching. Sometimes it doesn't really matter what colors I start with, because they're going to get covered up a lot. I mean, it always matters, but I don't try to, sometimes I shouldn't let myself get too, like, impeded by if I'm, like, not really sure. It's like literally whatever color I start with, it's going to be fine. This painting is almost too big to do sitting down. My shoulders and my neck probably won't thank me for this one, but I'll do, it's a lot of it's right here, so it's fine. And it's going to go to a little more yellow. That's a fun color. I just got this color Nickel Azo Yellow. I love it in my oils, but I've never had it in acrylic before, and it's awesome. It's got this great green quality to it. That's some strong stuff. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Do a little more brown here just to... Okay. And I keep forgetting sometimes to take a picture, so let's do that real quick. We have process photos for all my paintings available on our Patreon page. Okay, now is the real fun part, is just letting this layer dry for a second. And of course I just got to spray down my paint so it can dry out. Probably won't use this. Sometimes you can kind of save your paints and put them back in the tube if you're real careful. I like this color and I didn't really need very much of it. So I'll just save that little bit. There we go. Good. That's fine to start with. Alright, I want to definitely make this, I like the idea of making it a purple. Maybe we'll do a couple different shades of purple. And then put the red on top of the purple. I think that would be really fun. It's got some ultramarine blue. And some dioxazine purple, which I'm starting to run low on actually. Keep everything wet. Let's bust this guy out early. This is fun. Maybe a little more of a blue. And let's do a really transparent layer here. So I'm going to use some medium. This is an acrylic extender. So this is starting out as acrylic, and it will eventually be oil on top of that when this dries, and when I'm just done in general. A little more. I want this really nice and transparent. If you guys are curious about what I'm working on, hopefully on your event, if you saw that, there was a sketch of Sam and Frodo here. This is Sam carrying Frodo when he says, "I can carry you." I mean, I can't carry it, but I can carry you. And there's a sketch on the event. And then also, if you click on the link in your description there, we have prints of this piece available. All of my prints are 25% off right now, and there's a code right there to use. The code is livestream. But yeah, there's a picture of the sketch that I'm working on, that I'm working from. If you want to know what the concept is going toward. Yeah, let's do that real transparent. I like that. You can also see the other Lord of the Rings pieces I've done. This is my 10th Lord of the Rings piece. Kind of cool. It's like an anniversary. Lord of the Rings anniversary. Hi there, Elizabeth. Wow, Ian Holmes' passing made you think of my artwork. That's pretty cool. Appreciate that. That guy was a legend. I did a sketch of him this morning, actually, just to sort of commemorate that. Saw some pictures of Ian Holmes online. You know, his very recent pictures. I'm like, man, that guy looked old. 88, I know it's pretty old, but I've seen people in their 90s who don't quite look that old. He was looking pretty haggard. Poor guy. Apparently he had some kind of Parkinson's related something. That's looking really fun. We're going to do a little darker here in the foreground. There's a nice big rock. It's going to be right there. I'm indicating that now. purple. I'm going to start hinting at some of this value. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller thing then. Where's my spray? Got to keep all your tools wet or clean. When you're using acrylic. And I want, this one's fine for now. I'm going to start indicating some darker value for Sam here. Sam and Frodo are going to be standing. Well, Sam is standing. Frodo's pretty much passed out. Or whatever he was. Let's get a picture of this before I go too much further. Some nice transparent darks. Sam will be about there-ish. Almost there. Yeah, this purple will look really great with the red on top of it later. Hi, Amber. Hi, bud. Are you on lunch break, I guess? And Rebecca's watching as well. The boyfriend spy cam. Yep. That's really where this all started. What are you doing? Are you painting? Get back to work. You got bills to pay. Okay, believe it or not, there's Sam and Frodo. Looks just like him, huh? We'll do a bit darker again here. This foreground. It's always been something I've discovered recently is what I've been calling the extreme foreground. Something really close and usually really dark in value to help us step back from the scene. It kind of almost puts it like we're hiding behind something and we're right there in the action. Okay, let's let that dry for a few minutes. Also, just let me think. Luncheon. Is the Duke coming to luncheon? We tried to watch that Downtown Abbey show. We just couldn't get into it. Watched one episode and it's a bunch of, like, I don't know, felt like really privileged English people worrying about silly things like, the Duke is coming to luncheon. Oh, like, what are you guys talking? Oh, my cousin passed. I won't get my inheritance. Like, who cares? I couldn't watch it. To protect Downton Abbey. Downton. I don't know. I've heard it gets more complicated and gets fun and interesting, but we just couldn't get into it. Okay. Let that dry for a second. Yeah. There's Sam and Frodo. Mr. Frodo! Okay. It's sitting there for several minutes. It's had a bit to dry already. Just checking. Yeah, no, this isn't going to be a very complicated underpainting, I think. I could have done a little more right there. Might get a lot done today, actually. I'm just gonna do a tiny little bit. A little more than that. Shit. Wow, that really doesn't work right if it's a different medium. Just water is not enough. Just want a little bit. There we go. That's better. Just to show that there's going to be a sloping sort of mountain, whatever, right there. Clean off my stuff here. Might start to indicate where the figures are and stuff. And that can help me maybe iron out this underpainting a little more. Where'd that big blob of paint just come from? Sometimes there's a blob of paint hiding somewhere and I don't know where. And then it gets me. little bit. Alright, let's start carving out where this figure is here. There's Sam's butt. Stupid fat hobbits is. He's always stuffing his face. There's a foot. It's being overlapped by this rock. Art is life, man. Potato. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. There's Frodo's foot. There's his back legs there. Or at the back of his legs. He only has back legs. There's Sam's hand. Potatoes are pretty awesome. They're pretty versatile. We know at least 3 things you can do with them. There's Sam's big pile of hair. There's the back of his head. A little further forward there. There's his head. There's Frodo's back. Frodo's taking a back seat in this painting. There's Frodo's sort of head line. Where where's Sam's other, his other hand is. Like there. There's his hand holding Frodo's hand, Frodo's other arm. There's Sam's elbow. There's his arm. There's Frodo's shoulder. Yeah, something tells me this painting is going to come together real quick. I'm going to have to like stop today just so I don't finish it all, because I'm supposed to do it tomorrow. It's really not a super complicated painting. I put on Lord of the Rings this morning. Actually realizing I haven't sat and just watched those movies in a long time. I've had to go back and reference them to do some paintings, to look at a scene. I read the books again recently, but I haven't sat and watched the movies in a really long time, a couple of years. And I'm like, oh, so good. So many great scenes. The light in those movies is just beautiful. Lord of the Rings was the first pop culture work I ever did, just as a fan. Alright, his heel is somewhere over there, maybe a little higher. There's his pantaloons. His big old hobbit feet. You can sort of almost see that coming together there. Alright, where's Sam's face? It's kind of light. There's his hair right there. Comes a little more forward on this rock. I want it to be definitely overlapping to show the distance there. Alright, yeah, that's pretty much getting about there. Yeah, I really don't need to do a whole lot of lights on this. There's no light sources that really need to be uncovered. This is the most one, and I've got that pretty well already. I could probably do a touch more there. Back to work. See you around 6. Yay! For some sushi. Alright, I could probably touch up the background just a little bit. Background meaning the sky. We'll do just a touch of white. And I'll use a smaller brush here. Just to show this distant sort of mountain thing here. That can go a little lower. Let's do that. And it's pretty dark above where they are, but they need to silhouette a little harder. Yeah, that's a little better. Just need to see their silhouette a little better. And we can carve out that rock a little more. Also just soften a little of this texture. It's a little too harsh. And I can darken this one over here a little bit. Because here's my mountain. Mount Doom. And I can soften a couple of these that are a little too obnoxious. Definitely want the texture, but I don't want it to be distracting. Gotta make it a little darker on the very, very foreground there. Here's a bit of this background showing through here. Johnny Depp and Helena Carter can play Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. That's pretty fun. Oh, you guys have several comments here. I'm reading back. Wait, the Tolkien estate hates the Lord of the Rings movies? I didn't know that. I'm really amazed that they gave the job to Peter Jackson after what was the one really odd horror movie he had directed? How did he land Lord of the Rings? That's that's miraculous to me. No idea how that happened. Let's come in here a little darker with some of these. Just hit the darks where they're darkest. Frodo's hair, his shoulder, back of Sam's head, and this crevice where his arm is, and then underneath his chin. Find the ins so that the outs come out a lot more. And there's an arm. I'm just going to find this sort of make it real soft. Just a place where I need light value later. Also, it's sort of helping me with the drawing so I can see what I'm doing. Sam's hand is there with a thumb. There's his shirt, there's an arm, there's that. Here's his knee. We'll need to see that pretty well. And his old pantaloons coming out there. That's a little too high. Here's Frodo's big old hairy feet. Cool, that's a good. Christopher Tolkien would have not allowed it. Interesting. The Frighteners, yeah. Oh, interesting. Tolkien sold the movie rights a long time ago. The movies are masterpieces. That's really a shame to know that the Tolkien enterprise would not have liked the estate would not have liked that movie. The movies, they're masterpieces. Let's see here. He died recently, and suddenly an Amazon show. Yeah, right. Wonder why they didn't want any movies or shows to be made. All right, let's look at this here. Let's see what we're doing. I could carve out that silhouette of them too a little better. Let's put the fan on this for a quick second. I can read the discussion while this is drying. Wow. That guy's pretty brutal. Huh. I'll have to read that. Huh. It's funny, Rebecca, you posted that link for theonering.com. At a glance, I thought it was theonion.com. I thought it was like a parody joke news story. Like, oh, The Onion wrote an article about Tolkien? The One Ring. Okay. Yeah, I think the movies that happened were a miracle for sure. I should find if anyone was as disappointed with The Hobbit as I was, I did find the Tolkien edit, which was pretty awesome. Here it is. Somebody edited down all 3 Hobbit movies into one 4-hour film, which was actually quite enjoyable. It makes the movies worth watching, and I think it makes them helps them to belong with their trilogy. So there's still a couple wild things they couldn't really remove, but for the most part, it's quite good. You really finally get to see the shining performances of all the actors. All right, let's go over that sky a little more again. Let's kind of hit these again with a little murky white purple. A little more, because this stuff definitely lightens. It fades a little bit as it dries. Wow, the resulting movies he didn't consider to be the same story. That's pretty harsh. Considering how many diehard Lord of the Rings fans love the movies. How can you say that? That's just being arrogant at that point. Yeah, they're very different in their own way. They have their own life. Um, but to say that's not even the same stories, that's getting a little harsh. Alright, I need to separate this a little more. Just really need to see that silhouette. It's a little lighter. Oh, I did, you know what? I forgot. I have, hang on, I'm going to do it. I have my, it's kind of wacky for a second. I have a thing to have the proper exposure on my camera. I'm setting it up. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I finally have software for my webcam to do proper exposure. Oh my god, that's so much different. Yeah, that's actually way more accurate to the painting. It's a little dark, but I can change it. It's getting, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's much better. Oh my god, I totally forgot to turn that on. It's not automatic. I have to remember to do it. Yeah, thanks Rebecca for that idea. Like, oh yeah, I should just find some software. And let's make sure the focus is correct as well. Focus, let's put that on auto for now to make sure. Yeah, good. Yeah, that is much better. Okay. This thing's getting pretty close to being a finished underpainting. Definitely going to have to work on this one today. I can't just stop now. I've only been streaming for not even an hour. Alright, that's too much water. Yes, I have a wall that I fling my brushes onto to clean them off. Sometimes it's kind of cathartic. And today I dropped a tube of paint on the floor and I have a big spot of blue paint on my carpet. But it's okay because this is the room where that's okay. That's allowed to happen in this room. Oh, that is actually so much more helpful for me to check the image. It's still a little dark. Let's it's never going to be perfect, but that's a hell of a lot better. George Lucas doesn't need an angry, bitter son when he can fulfill that role himself. Yeah, no kidding. There's a big old spot on Sam's face that will definitely be hard to paint over later. Alright, let's back up and look at this thing. Oof, what should I do on this thing? Definitely need to let that dry a little more still. spot there. I'm just noticing spots that are a little too obnoxious. They're texture to enhance the painting, not to distract it. Have I taken a picture of this in a while? We'll do another one just in case. That's pretty good. Yeah, I could let this dry and I could start working. Oops. I'll let that dry out. I might as well do this up this whole side. Since this is all lit. There's a knee, a little more in his hand. Arm. There's a little sleeve right there. Yeah, I'll just do a little more there. Cool, yeah, I like it. Let's cover this up again a little more. Since I'm going to need a lot of detail in Sam's face, I don't want any textury things distracting from that. Yeah, I think I can clean up. See if I can save a little bit of this. dry chunk. Awesome. Always makes me happy when I put some paint back in the tube. I feel like I'm like making like a fun artist hack in some way. Gotta get out the cleaner because this stuff ain't coming off. This is the fun part to watch, right? This is the reality. Sometimes people say, I wish I could sit and watch you paint for hours and hours. I'm like, really? I don't think you would really enjoy yourself. A lot of it's just this crap. Waiting for something to dry. Cleaning up paint. I think people say that when they see the finished piece. Or like they watch you do the last like 10 minutes of it. Wow, that's so much fun to watch. This part ain't so fun. This is the grunt stuff. Okay, gonna clean up my brushes and get some other stuff out. Be right back. Guess I can turn the fan on this thing now to make sure it's drying properly. Okay, I've got to let this one dry for, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes. I'm deciding, I don't think I need, if I start today, I don't want to blast through the whole thing and be done and have nothing left to do tomorrow. I think this would be a pretty, not easy at all, but it's not going to be as time consuming as the other two I've done at all. So it's hard deliberately trying to split this into 2 days. I'm trying to think and see what I could do today that I could leave tomorrow. I guess I can maybe do the sky, but I don't want to have that edge dry when I come back tomorrow. I want to have a wet edge. In case I need to blend some stuff together. I don't like the possibility of leaving it and having it dry overnight and then I can't blend things. Probably spend at least an hour or so on Sam's face. I could probably do all the figures in just a couple hours. The rocks won't be very hard. A lot of little tedious little rocks, but they'll be very simple planes in the sky. I could probably do most of this painting tomorrow during the main event day. Concerned if I start it today, yeah, I want to do this whole thing at once. If I'm going to start the oil, I don't want to do half of it and stop. No, it's not a complicated piece. Tomorrow is the day that everybody watches. That's usually the day we advertise for, even. So if I do that, Maybe I'll start a little earlier tomorrow just to have enough time, because I do need to finish by 6. But I think today I might just be done. I don't know if there's anything else I can do. Okay, I think I'm going to do, this is done for today, and I'm going to start again tomorrow. I might start a little earlier, maybe at 12:30, just to get really moving. So I can probably finish most of the whole thing by 6. Hi there, Stephen. How's it going? You're catching me just at the end of this underpainting here. So yeah, so I think I might finish it for today, come back tomorrow morning and really blast through it, because I don't think it's going to be that hard, just looking at this whole thing. So, okay. Yeah, we'll just do that. So, great. Well, this is a quick episode today, just a quick underpainting. Please click on the link there in your description if you want to pre-order prints of this piece. All of our prints are 25% off with the code LIVESTREAM. And we have Patreon. There's a link there too if you want to subscribe to us on Patreon and support the gallery. Yeah, we have cool rewards for different subscribers as you know, at the higher levels. But even for $1 a month, you can support the gallery, and it allowed us to keep doing these awesome paintings like this and these live streams, which are a lot of work. So, well, cool guys, thanks for watching, and tune in tomorrow at 1 Mountain Standard Time, wherever you are for that. I might jump in a little early just to get a head start. I do have a hard stop at 6, and that's a long day of painting, 6.5 straight hours. I might take a quick break in the middle, but I think I can get most of that done then. So, yeah, cool guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.